Well, it seems the MonsterVerse is continuing with the huge success of Godzilla vs. Kong in theaters and also on HBO Max. And I'll be honest with you guys, this is some of the best news I've heard in quite some time. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. I should be asleep right now because I'm extremely tired. My voice is going a little bit. Apologies for that. But I want to talk about this news. And this video, of course, is coming out the day after this news broke, but I don't care. I want to talk about it. It seems the MonsterVerse is continuing past Godzilla vs. Kong, which at a time seemed was going to be the final film in the MonsterVerse they were trying to build because of the poor reception to Godzilla King of the Monsters. But I thought that film deserved more response in terms of box office. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the article that was written by Hollywood Reporter talking about potentially Son of Kong or another film within the MonsterVerse being developed. Actually, several ideas in the works with Adam Wingard apparently attached to a lot of these ideas and discussions within Legendary and Warner Brothers. So let's get into this article from Hollywood Reporter. I will, of course, link the article in the top description if you guys want to read the full thing if you haven't by now. But I pulled out some particular paragraphs I want to discuss. So on the top one here, given King of the Monsters' less than stellar results, Legendary insiders had viewed Godzilla vs. Kong as perhaps the end of the current version of the franchise, even as executives believed they had saved the best for last. But then Godzilla vs. Kong opened. Now, with this is pretty much where we all were in terms of the MonsterVerse fans. We were under this idea, this impression that this was going to be the last film. Because King of the Monsters, as they said in the very beginning of this paragraph, less than stellar results. The film didn't open very well, box office opening weekend. I remember seeing an opening weekend. Not many people in the theater. Then again, I saw it like at 10 a.m. in the morning, but still, it just wasn't a good turnout over the weekend for the film. And that's unfortunate for Godzilla King of the Monsters. I feel like it deserved more than it actually did in terms of box office and feedback, but that's just me personally. I overall enjoyed the film. So with this response for Godzilla vs. Kong, which we read within the second paragraph, this is a huge turnaround for the franchise. So let's continue on. The movie, which bowed statewide March 31st to 31.6 million, has crossed 400 million globally. I cannot read. I'm tired. Apologies. So that is a fantastic number. Over $400 million globally for this film during a pandemic. And of course, this is not really talking a lot about HBO Max and everything like that, but HBO Max has seen a huge number in terms of subscriber and a lot of viewers watching the film on HBO Max. So it's been a huge success over on HBO Max as well. But the main thing is the theaters. Over 400 million globally, that is huge. It is the top grossing Hollywood-produced movie released since the pandemic upended the movie business, and it has yet to open in multiple larger markets, among them being the UK, Brazil, and Japan. That's big, because once this film opens up in the UK, Brazil, and Japan, we'll see the numbers even go higher for this thing. It also marks the second best performance in the four-movie MonsterVerse franchise, trailing only behind Kong Skull Island 2017, tally of 566 million. Now that's a big thing. This film, I think, would be doing way better and would have surpassed Kong Skull Island if there was no pandemic. It wouldn't be on HBO Max, but I think a lot more people would already be in theaters and they would have seen this, and this thing would have blown past, I think, in my opinion, Kong Skull Island, but that's just me. So I think with everything that was going on, and of course this big blockbuster film, and with Warner Brothers doing same day and date theaters on HBO Max, I feel like that actually saved this film, and I think it really saved the franchise. Not because HBO Max is an easier way to go in terms of some viewers because of theaters still being shut down or just a lot of people are still being cautious. It's the fact that it showed a huge interest for people that had the option to stay home, because a lot more people were checking it out on HBO Max who normally probably wouldn't have seen it if it wasn't on HBO Max. If the pandemic was going on and Warner Bros. Didn't do same day and date, I don't know if this film would have done as well in terms of box office. It probably would. But they even see more numbers because of the HBO Max increase and all those data they're getting from there. So it really shows people want this franchise to continue. So let's go to the second portion here of this. And this is, of course, later on to the article or whatever, but I wanted to point this out specifically about Adam Wingard's involvement with potentially the future of the MonsterVerse, specifically the next film. So reading here, as of now, there's no timetable for the project, as Wingard, who of course directed Godzilla vs. Kong, has become popular among studios. Warner Bros., for example, chased and landed the director for a live-action feature based on the Saturday morning cartoon Thundercats. And Face Off sequel at Paramount also beckons. There is also no known writer attached to the new MonsterVerse installment either. So for this, it seems Adam Wingard is pretty damn busy. Still at the same studio, of course, with Godzilla vs. Kong, of course, Legendary involved in the mix as well. But for Thundercats, and then Face Off sequel at Paramount. Now, I don't know if this film's going to happen right after, Godzilla vs. Kong. It seems like Adam Wingard is probably going to focus more on Thundercats or the Face Off sequel. I'm not really sure. My guess is we'll probably get another MonsterVerse film before whatever this film is with Adam Wingard coming back to direct. Let's continue on here with the final paragraph. However, Wingard is said to have been very involved in creating Godzilla vs. Kong set pieces as well as the world building for the movie's Hollow Earth plotline. And he and Legendary have been cooking up plenty of ideas already. So there's more things in mind, more ideas than just Son of Kong, which is in fact one possible title being floated internally, Son of Kong, which apparently was a part of the original script for Godzilla vs. Kong that was removed. I don't know if it was ever shot, but apparently it was part of the original script that was removed. There's also rumors of other things that they were going to be introducing in Godzilla vs. Kong that was cut. Who knows if it's actually real, if it ever was shot, who knows. But regardless, the fact is, him and Legendary have been cooking up plenty of ideas. So that tells me Adam Wingard has been in a lot of discussions within Legendary talking about the future of the MonsterVerse. I don't think he was specifically talking about himself directing a lot of these projects. I think he was just there to help build the Hollow Earth plotline as it says here, and that could develop into a bunch of other things that could spin off to other films. Now, with this, I think the MonsterVerse can expand more than just having films continuing in the timeline that's already been established. Because each film, because Kong did a flashback. Kong was a flashback film compared to Godzilla 2014, of course, the original film that started this MonsterVerse. Kong Skull Island was a flashback film. I think we could still get more of that. Not so much a Kong flashback film, but maybe a Godzilla flashback film that takes place thousands of years ago. I'm not really sure, because they were teasing a lot of stuff and how there was a war between Kong's kind and Godzilla's kind. What if we saw that war? What if we saw that? There's many things they could do within this. And with the Hollow Earth thing, there's many things they could pull from the Hollow Earth in terms of course, Toho original characters that we know and love from the Godzilla universe that could come from Hollow Earth. I'm not really sure. But this is exciting news, in my opinion. This is exciting news. So, for MonsterVerse, it seems we're going to be getting more films, and I'm thinking they're probably going to approach it as, how are we going to expand more? Because right now, it's really Godzilla and King Kong, and that's fine, but at a certain point, you probably want to branch out a little bit more and have other films within the MonsterVerse that are not really tied to Godzilla and King Kong, because in order for this franchise to work, you have to have a little bit more room to breathe in terms of other monsters that could have their own film. Like a Mothra film? A Rodan film? I don't know. An Origin of King Ghidorah? I don't know. Maybe. I'm just thinking that there's other ways they can tell stories and have monsters be in the forefront that don't have to be Godzilla or King Kong. And I feel like if that's the route they go, that it might prove to be successful. I'm not really sure. Maybe a lot of MonsterVerse fans prefer that in the lead has to be either King Kong or Godzilla. I'm not really sure on that, but for me, I would think they need to step outside of the two main hitters that just got into a fight against Mechagodzilla and everything like that, and of course against each other for the majority of the film, to not so much like take a breather, but to kind of take a step back, and so we can actually see more of the monsters within the MonsterVerse that they could be exploring, whether it's past in terms of a flashback film or a present day or a futuristic set in the future. Because Son of Kong, that pretty much tells me it's a pretty significant jump in the future. Maybe, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But what do you guys think of this information for the MonsterVerse continuing? I'm curious to know your thoughts, guys. Whatever thoughts you have, let me know in the comment section below, guys. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.